Hello friends, welcome back to Automation Tech Guru. I have started a video series. In my last two videos, we have seen a roadmap to help manual testers, a transition from manual tester to automation tester, and become an automation expert. And I have also discussed key challenges to manual testers to overcome these challenges during transition phase and making manual tester to an automation expert. In my last two videos, we have seen UI automation testing tools and API automation testing tools. In this video, we have seen in this third video we will see core BDD framework, and this will give you a chance to start work as an automation testing using these tools and become an automation expert. So let's start. So BDD core automation BDD framework. So in the core BDD framework, we will see Cucumber, SpecFlow, Behave, JBehave, Serenity BDD, and Pytest-BDD. So these are the six different tools which we will see as a BDD framework. So before going to start or deep down to all the core BDD framework tools, let's start with the BDD framework basics. So what is BDD? A behavior-driven development BDD framework is a tool that helps software test developer team define and test the behavior of an application. BDD frameworks use domain-specific language to write tests in a human-readable format. BDD focus on defining the behavior of an application in plain human-readable language using scenario examples. BDD uses tools like Cucumber or SpecFlow to write tests in given when then format, ensuring clear shared understanding of requirements. Key concepts of BDD. So focus on behavior. BDD emphasizes testing the behavior of the application rather than its implementation. Collaboration. BDD involves writing tests collaboratively with stakeholders. Working syntax. Test cases are written in plain English using a given when then structure. So let's start with the BDD framework tools. First is Cucumber using Java. Introduction to Cucumber. So Cucumber is a popular open source tool that supports BDD. It allows teams to write test cases in plain human readable text using working syntax, which makes the test understandable to both technical and non-technical stakeholders. Cucumber bridges the gap between business requirements and automated testing by fostering collaboration. Cucumber enables developers, testers, and business stakeholders to write tests collaboratively using natural language. These tests are mapped to executable code, ensuring that the software behavior align with intended requirement. It supports multiple languages and frameworks, making it versatile and widely adapted. Why use Cucumber? So readable test cases. Use Gherkin, a plain test language that describes the behavior of the application. Collaboration encourages interaction between developers, testers, and business analysts. BDD support follows BDD principles, promoting a shared understanding of requirement before development begins. Multi-language support works with languages such as Java, Python, Ruby, JavaScript, and more. cross-platform, supports integration with various tools and frameworks like Selenium and RestAssured. Key features: working syntax. As you know, we can write the scenarios using the given when then format for clear and concise behavior descriptions. Tagging, organize and execute a specific scenario using tags. Integrations, works seamlessly with CI/CD pipeline and testing tools. Hooks, use setup and tear down logic for test scenario with hooks. Like before and after. Reusable steps, shares, step definitions across multiple scenarios. So let's deep down with the step by step in Cucumber. So step one is setting up Cucumber. So install a programming language. Cucumber supports multiple languages. For this tutorial, we use Java or Python. So Java or Python for Cucumber, JVM or Pytest-BDD. So Pytest we will see after in my video in this video. Install the respective IDE. So we will install the IntelliJ IDEA or Eclipse. So for Java, we will go. You can install JDK. That is from the oracle.com. And for Eclipse download for the Windows. So you can go through this download from the scripts. So you can install this. We have option to download for the 86 or 64. You can download from here. Next is set up a development environment. For Java, install JDK and Maven Gradle, and for Python, you can install Python or pip. So we can use Cucumber in Java as well as Python also. Step 2, writing your first features file. So a feature file is where you write test cases in working syntax. Create a file named login.feature, and you can use like the scenario feature login functionality. Scenario successful login, given the user is on the login page. When the user enters valid credentials, then the user should be redirected to the dashboard. Step 3, writing step definitions. So how we can write the step definition? So for that you need step definition map working steps to code. These are the implemented in the programming language of choice. Example in Java, import io-cucumber.java, and then you can use the class public class logic steps, and based on your feature steps you can write the code in step definition. Like given the user is on the logic page, it will create a method name public void user is on the login page, and then you can uh, create the logic of given and then when and then. So these are the three methods that can be used in the step definition file. Next is integration with automation tools. So using Selenium for web automation, you can integrate Selenium with Cucumber to perform browser-based tests. So for Java example, you can see here you have to install the Selenium, and also you need to import org openqa.selenium.webdriver and org openqa.chrome driver. So for that, you just need to create public class login steps and then driver, and then you can have the given the user is on the login page. For that, you need to uh, initialize the driver equal to new driver, Chrome driver, and then you will go to the URL. After going to the URL, you can pass the credential like driver.find element by ID, username, send key is test user, and then password, send keys, password 123, and then find element by ID, login button dot click. So it will enter in the this username and password can be entered in the text login text box page, and then you can click on the login button. And in the then you can verify that you are logged in successfully or not. So for that you need to use the current URL driver dot get URL, and then assert is equal to current URL example dot dashboard. So it will after login it will go to the dashboard, and then driver dot quit. So in this way you can integrate your Selenium with the Cucumber. Even after Selenium, if you want to write your code in REST API, or you want to automate the REST API, then you can use the REST API testing, and you can test API using libraries like RestAssured or a request for Python, RestAssured for Java, and request for Python. So if you remember in my previous video, we have seen that RestAssured with Java. So in the same way, you can write your code using Cucumber also. So it is two different things. One is writing test cases in Gherkin language using Cucumber for REST API or for UI testing. So if you are writing test cases for API or REST API, then you can use the REST Assured, and the same process will be the same as Selenium, but the code will be different based on your REST Assured and Java. Next is running test. So how we can run the test case? For that you can use a Maven or Gradle to run the test cases. For that you need to just use Maven test command, and this will create execute the feature file and link test step definitions. Next is data driven testing with Cucumber. So Cucumber also allows to pass multiple test data into a single scenario using example or scenario outline. You can see the Gherkin example. This is the scenario outline. Login with the multiple users. Given the user is on the login page when user entered, and you can pass the message. So you can see user test user one user one password one, login successful. User two password is different for user two, and then login failed. So in this way, you can also write the code with the data-driven testing, where you can pass multiple test data using example. Next is generating reports. So Cucumber can generate detailed HTML reports using plugin. For Java, you can add the Cucumber plugin in your form.xml. So how you can do that? So for that, you need to go to the artifact ID, and then you can use Maven.surefire plugin, and then you can use the plugin target Cucumber HTML report, which then and then run the test, and the report will be available in the target directory. Whatever directory you can pass, it will be generated in the specific directory. So you can directly generate your report from the Cucumber. Next is CI/CD integration. So integrate Cucumber test into Jenkins or other CI/CD tools by adding them to your pipeline. Add the build step to execute Maven or Gradle command for Java. Publish the test reports in Jenkins. Next is advanced feature. So for advanced feature, you can use this tagging scenario, add text to feature file and run specific test using tags. So for that you can use the like if you want to run your test case as a smoke test, you can use at the rate smoke test. So whatever whichever test case using this tag specific tag, those test cases can run simultaneously, and only those test cases can be run for that smoke test. So you can just group those test cases based on this tag, and you can see the code also, the command also run the tag test ambient test the cucumber.filter dot tag equal to at the rate smoke test. So whatever test case is having the tag name as smoke test, it will run automatically. Hooks use at the rate before and at the rate after hooks for setup and tear down task. Next is SpecFlow using C#. So introduction to the SpecFlow. The SpecFlow is also a BDD framework for .NET that enables teams to write test cases in human readable language using Gherkin syntax. It allows collaboration between developers, testers, and business stakeholders to define application behavior in a way that is understandable by all. The SpecFlow integrates with popular .NET testing framework like NUnit, XUnit, and MS-Test, providing a robust solution for automating acceptance tests for web application. It is a .NET-based BDD framework that facilitates writing acceptance tests in natural language using Gherkin. It allows users to define the behavior of an application through scenarios and steps that reflect the user story or features. SpecFlow bridges the gap between business requirements and technical implementations, enable all team members, regardless of technical expertise, to participate in the test development process. The SpecFlow generates executable code for these scenarios, allow for seamless automation of tests. So there is a difference between the Cucumber and SpecFlow. Cucumber and SpecFlow both are same, but Cucumber is used in Java or Python, but the SpecFlow used in .NET C#. Why use SpecFlow? So again, collaborative testing. It facilitates collaboration between the developers, tester, and non-technical stakeholders like product owner or business analyst. Readable tests use Gherkin syntax to write test cases in plain English, making tests easily understandable by everyone involved in the project. Integration with .NET works seamlessly with NUnit, XUnit, MS-Test, and other .NET-based testing frameworks. Automated acceptance testing automates tests to ensure that the system behave according to business expectations. Supports continuous integration, easily integrates into CI/CD pipelines to support automated testing in agile workflows. Rich reporting provides detailed, understandable report on test execution, making it easier to identify issues and failures. Key features. Again, Gherkin syntax write test scenario using given when then format, making them readable for both technical and non-technical users. Integration with .NET testing framework. It integrates with NUnit, XUnit, MS-Test, and SpecFlow Plus for running tests and generating reports. Parameterization supports parameterization steps and scenarios to allow running the same test with the different inputs. Data-driven testing using tables and example to in the Gherkin to drive data-driven tests, increasing test coverage. Hooks. SpecFlow provides hook to manage setup and tear down actions such as before scenario and after scenario for performing common steps like initialization or a web driver. Reusable steps share step definition across multiple scenarios. Reports SpecFlow can generate detailed HTML and JSON reports that capture test execution details, including pass, failed, and skip tests, even as well as the screenshots. So how we can set up the SpecFlow? Step 1. So for that, install Visual Studio. So download and install Visual Studio. You can download from the Microsoft website. So I already showcased in previous video also. So you just need to go to the Visual Studio. So you can see you can download from here. There are three different version. You can use this community. It will be a free download, so you can create a number of projects from there. I already installed in my machine. So you can see this is the Visual Studio, and then next is install the SpecFlow uh, for the Visual Studio extension, and open Visual Studio extension and manage extension. Search for the SpecFlow and install it. And then after you need to install the .NET packages like create a new class library .NET or class library project. Install the following NuGet packages via package manager console and manage NuGet packages. First is package SpecFlow, then SpecFlow.NUnit, and then NUnit test adapter. Set up NUnit test framework. Ensure that your test project is configured to use NUnit. So I think this is started. So you can see we have multiple specs. I'm already having one SpecFlow project. Let me show you what we have installed here. So this is the SpecFlow project. You can see these are the dependency which I was talking about, right? So you need to install this NUnit adapter, SpecFlow, and NUnit. So these are the three different packages: SpecFlow, NUnit, and NUnit adapter. And also you need to install this uh, extension. So how we can do that? For that you just need to go to the extensions, manage extension, and here you need to search for the SpecFlow. Yes, you can just search for it. So you can see the SpecFlow for Visual Studio 2022. So which version of Visual Studio you are using, you need to install for that only. It will automatically come for that only, but you can install that particular specific version. So I'm using the 22. You can also use the SpecFlow for Visual Studio 2022, and this is already installed. Okay. So next is writing your first feature file. So for that, again, a feature file contains scenario written in the working language, that is a feature file login.feature, and you can use login functionality as a user of the application. I want to able to log in so that I can access the dashboard, and then you can write the same thing uh, in the given then format, and then you can create the step to create a folder named this feature in your uh, project. Add a new file named login feature. So let me show you the example. So this is the feature folder, and this is the subdefinite folder. You can have this login dot feature here and login dot steps here. Okay. Next is generating the step definition. So once you created your feature file, you can directly generate from the step definition from the feature itself. So SpecFlow automatically generates step definition from each step in the feature file. Generate a step definition. Right click inside the feature file and select generate step definition. Save the generated file as login steps.cs in a step folder. Implement step definition. Edit the generated step definition to automate the steps, and you can see the this is the code you can write for that. Then example login and in dot framework and using the tech talk SpecFlow, and then you can have the namespace and then binding public class login steps. The here is on the login page, and this is the code. In the same way, you can write the when and then part. You can see this is the when and this is the then part. So you can see here also. So this is the given part, and you have your logic inside this. This is the then this is the when part. This is the logic, and then for the result. Next is running test. So build the project, ensure that the project builds without error. Run test, open the text explorer and the Visual Studio. Run the test by selecting scenario or feature file. So how we can run that? For that you just need to go to the test and select the text explorer. So you can see all the test cases which is given in, since this is not built, so let me build this first. So you can see here in the test case, it's already listed in the test explorer. So if you want to run the test case, we just need to run or debug. If you want to debug and validate the code is output, right? So you can debug also. You can have the debug point here anywhere where you want to go, and this is the debug point. Once you debug, it will automatically come to this, and you can run by F11 or F10. Okay. Next is integration with Selenium. So same way you can integrate this SpecFlow with the Selenium also. For that you need to install two packages. One is selenium.webdriver, and then you need to install the selenium.webdriver Chrome. So you should have these packages, and then you can start update the stuff definition using Selenium to automate browser actions. And you can see an unit framework open keyword Selenium Chrome, and then you need to initialize the driver. You can see here driver equal to new Chrome driver, and then driver dot navigate to go to the URL, and then in the when part you can just pass the username sign key, test user one, password is password 123, and then login button dot click. So is in this way you can log in, and in the then part you can validate it also. Next is data driven testing. So using scenario outline in Gherkin, you can use the scenario outline in the same way which we have seen in the Cucumber as well. So let me show you this. So if you go here, right, and you can just put this as a scenario outline. Okay, so this is the scenario outline. Now what you need to do, you just need to use here example. Okay, this is the examples, and what you need to pass, you need to use the pipe, this pipe symbol, and then you can use like first number, then pipe, second number, okay, then again pipe, and then result. I'm just showcasing with the calculator, but same way you can write there also. Okay, Now here you can use again pipe 50, then 70, then you will get 70, close with the pipe, and you will get 20, 120, right? So this is the first example. Again, if you want to add, you can add 120 pipe, then 50 pipe, and then it will be 170. So this will be the result. How you can pass to it? You just copy this and you can use this symbol and paste it. In the same way, you can paste here also for second, and then this for result. All three parameter we pass to parameter. Okay. Now when you create this, right, what you need to do, you need to define a step. You if you right click on this steps, right, you can, okay, already defined here, right? So what you need to do, you just need to pass here. See, this is already created. So what number you want to add, then you can add as a result also. Okay, and this is this given when, and then all the numbers are passed to it. Okay, in this way you can create the scenario outline. Next is generating report. So SpecFlow plus runner, you can use SpecFlow plus runner for generating HTML. For that you need to just install SpecFlow dot plus dot runner and enable report. Add SpecFlow.json file to your project and configure reporting. This is the JSON file which can be created for the reporting. Next is CI/CD integration. So Jenkins or Azure DevOps you can use. Add build steps in the run unit or SpecFlow test. Publish SpecFlow plus reports for test results and run tests from the command line. Use the .NET test command line to execute the tests in CI/CD pipeline using .NET test. So in this way you can integrate the CI/CD pipeline also. Hooks and advanced features. So for hooks, what you can do, you just need to use the before and after scenario. I think I already have this, not here, but you can add the one. We just need to right click here and add new item, and so you can create a class, or I think it will give you hooks also as a class. Not sure if it is there or not, but this is you can see SpecFlow hooks. So if you add this, it automatically come here. See, this is the hooks, and you can see before scenario, after scenario. You can have the tag as well as a number of methods you can create for the scenario based on your scenario. Okay, next is, okay, before going to this new tool, right, let me showcase you on my YouTube channel also. And so here if you search SpecFlow, right, I'm having different you just need to go to the videos and search for the SpecFlow. So I already created some videos on SpecFlow, right? So you can see SpecFlow basics, and these are the some. This is the playlist where I have already added for the RESTful API using SpecFlow, and some of the different project templates also are there. So you can just go through these different videos, and you can find many things regarding the SpecFlow using C#. Okay. Next is Behave. Behave using Python. So introduction to Behave. So what is Behave? Behave is also it's a Python-based framework for behavior-driven development (BDD). It allows developers and testers to write tests in natural language, making it easier to describe application behavior in a way that non-technical stakeholders can understand. Behave is widely used for acceptance tests and promoting collaboration between technical and business teams. Behave enables BDD by using plain text description of test scenarios written in Gherkin syntax. These scenarios are linked to Python code that executes the specified steps. This framework is ideal for ensuring clear communication between developers, testers, and business stakeholders. Why use Behave? So, readable test use Gherkin language to write the test cases in plain English language. Then collaboration, you can promote the communication between technical and non-technical team, fostering a shared understanding of requirement. Python support, you can leverage Python simplicity and power for writing step definition. BDD framework principles, so it encourages a test first approach where behavior is defined before development begins. Next is key features. So again, Gherkin syntax, you can write a test scenario using even when and format, and that can be readable for both technical and non-technical user. Integration, easily integrated with Selenium API library and CI/CD tool. Extensibility, so it is customizable hooks we can use for pre-test and post-test execution. Tags, it will allow grouping and selective execution of scenarios. Python ways, Python is a beginner friendly, making it an excellent choice for testers new to programming. Next step. So step is setting up Behave. How we can set up it? So for that you just need to download and install Python from python.org. Install Python is in your system path, and then you need to install the Behave. So you just need to go to this. I just need to search uh, download. You can see this, and you can download from here, right? So this is the detail. Everything is given here also. You can see pip install. This is the just command we can use for pip with pip, and you can install it. But before that you need to install the Python. So you can go through this python.org, and then you can install from here. So you can see this is the Python. I think I already installed with my machine. Yes, it's already there. For that you can use the PyCharm also. But here you need to use the Behave for the BDD. Okay, and then set up a project structure, create a following folder structure, markdown my web project, and then this is the feature, a step environment and example dot feature. Okay, next is writing your first feature file. So for that, a feature file contains scenario written in Gherkin. So again, the same logic, same login functionality you can use. and save the file example dot feature in the feature directory. Okay, writing the step definition. For that step definition link working step by Python code. So you can see from behave import given when then given, and then definition step given user is on login page. You can pass the context and then print, and then in the when also you can pass the context, and then in that then part you can validate. Next is running the test cases. So how you can run that? So navigate to the project directory, and then you can use cd my wave project and run behave. You can just simply use the command behave. Output behave will execute the scenario in the feature file and display the result in the terminal. Integration with the Selenium. So again, you just need to install the Selenium with Python. So to automate browser-based test, integrate behave with the Selenium, install Selenium, pip install Selenium, and then you can use step update the step definition using importing your Selenium uh, drivers or packages, and then you can write the code as we have seen in previous tools also in Cucumber as well in SpecFlow. The same code you can use here also. You can see context.driver, WebDriver, context.driver dot get. You can go to the URL, and in the when part you can use the find element by ID user equal to send key username password, and then you can click on the login button. Next is data driven testing. So again, you can use the scenario outline and example to test multiple data set. So for that, you can use the feature file and then scenario outline and then example. You can pass a number of user and password with the login messages. Next is adding hooks for the setup and teardown. So in the same way, you can write here also. So hooks are defined in feature environment.py to manage pre and post test setup. For that, you can use Selenium import driver and then context web driver. This is for the before scenario, and this is the after scenario. These are the two methods we can create. In before scenario, you can initialize your Chrome driver, and after scenario, you can uh, select. You can use the driver.quit. You can close the driver. Next, next is generating reports. So we have support generating reports using the format option. Generate JSON reports, behave, then hyphen format JSON, and then convert JSON into the HTML. So you have two different type of report. You can also run behave with the Allure. For that you need to use the Allure also, and this is the formatter. And then generate HTML Allure serve Allure mind hyphen results. So in this way you can create your report also. Next is CI/CD integration. So run behave in CI/CD pipeline, add behave command to the pipeline script, and then publish test report as a pipeline artifact. And then you can use the GitHub action, and you can write this code to execute your test cases in CI/CD. You can see. So this is the script which can be used for the CI/CD integration. Next is JBehave. So we can use with the Python. Same we can use JBehave using Java. So again, JBehave is an open source Java based framework for BDD. It facilitates write and executing test narrative in a narrative style using working like syntax, enabling collaboration between developers, testers, and business stakeholders. JBehave helps align software behavior with business requirement by making tests readable and understandable for everyone. JBehave is a BDD framework that supports writing scenario in plain natural language. These scenarios are mapped to Java methods that define the implementation of the steps. It is one of the earliest BDD tool designed to encourage communication and ensure that software meets business expectations. So why use Behave? So again, readable tests, you can written test cases in plain text, making them understandable for both technical, non-technical BDD approach. So ensure that behavior is defined before development process start. Java ecosystem, you can integrate seamlessly with Java-based tool library and frameworks. Customization, highly extensive with specific project need. Integration, you can integrate well like Selenium for UI. Key features can be used with CI/CD pipeline and integrated with tools like Maven and Jenkins. So now setting up the JBehave. So before that you need to install the download and install JDK from the Oracle Open JDK, and then you can check the version. Then you need to install the Maven, and that is from the Apache Maven. So let me show you that also. Apache Maven download. So you can download from here, Apache Maven. Okay, these are the options which you can install, download and install. Then okay, then set up a Maven project, create a Maven project and use IDE. You can use Eclipse, you can install the Eclipse or IntelliJ IDEA, whatever you want, you can install it and then create a Maven project and then add JBehave dependency. For that you need to use group dependency group ID org.jbehave and then artifact ID or JBehave core and the version. Again you can use the Selenium Java and Java version, also JUnit for the execution of the test case. Next is writing your first story file. So a story here is a difference, you can write the story file, not the feature file. So a story file is similar to a feature file in the Gherkin. It contains a scenario written in plain English. Example, you can use story file source main resource story login.story. It will not be a login.feature, it is login.story. So this is the difference between this other different three we have seen, right, in SpecFlow, Cucumber or Behave. Now JBehave is different, it is creating login story, not feature. So again the same scenario you can use, and then writing step definition. So for that step definition you can use the Java steps like a public class login step, and then you can use the same way given when then. Okay, next is configuration or configuring JBehave test runner. So when you want to run your test cases, for that you need to use the create a JBehave runner to execute the story. For that you need to use the package runner, and then you can import configuration for each core jbehave.core and everything you need to import, and then after you can create this this is a yeah, you can just create this configuration and then list the candidate, return new, and then it will create it will execute your test case. So for run you can run the test, execute the test class login story runner from your ID using Maven, and you can use npm test and then verify, check the console and generated report for the test results. Next is integration with the Selenium. So to automate browser interaction, integrate Selenium JBehave with Selenium, and update the definition step definition with Selenium. So you need to import the OpenQA Selenium driver and then other DLLs which is required for the Selenium, and then you can write the same code. System.property, you can use a driver.new Chrome driver and then go to the URL, and the code will be the same. It is written in Java. Next is data driven testing. So again, you can use the story files using the example. For that, you can use the scenario login with multiple user and then the step examples, and the same data you can pass using the step definition. For the data driven, you can pass username and password to the method. Next is generating reports. So JBehave generate reports in a format like HTTP or text file. These are the configure in the story report builder section of the runner. So whatever runner you are using, it will create the HTML reports also. CI/CD integration. So run test case in CI/CD pipeline. You need to add the maven command to your pipeline and then publish the report. Upload generated HTML or test report as a pipeline artifact. Next is Serenity BDD. This is also using Java. So introduction to the Serenity BDD. So it is also a BDD framework for Java that provide a rich environment for writing automated acceptance tests. It is designed to make it easier to write and maintain complex automated acceptance tests for web application services and API. Serenity BDD integrates with the popular testing framework like JUnit, Cucumber, and JUnit 5 to support BDD style testing and generate detailed, comprehensive reports. It is a powerful test automation framework that is built around BDD principles. It enables teams to define application behavior in a business-friendly language while automating the test in the same background. In the background, Serenity focuses not only the automate test but also providing rich, meaningful report that provides insight into the system behavior. It works well with other popular libraries such as Selenium, Cucumber, JUnit, and easily integrated with the CI/CD tools. Next is why use Serenity BDD. So rich reporting, it is basically used for the automatically generate the detailed and interactive report that help restore stakeholders understand the behavior of the system. BDD approach, it allows even when then format. Then test reusability, you can use the test steps and feature in maintainability, which is crucial for large project. Integration with the Selenium, it works seamlessly with the Selenium for web application testing, allow it to automate browser interaction. Parallel text execution, you can support parallel test execution for tests, making text execution faster and more efficient. Built-in Cucumber support, so it integrates easily with the Cucumber to enable behavior-driven development using Gherkin syntax. Key features. So advanced reporting, as I said, that generate the rich and detailed, easy to understand report that capture test result scenario and system behavior. BDD integration, it can be integrated with Cucumber and JBehave. Flexible test data management, it can handle complex test data management by supporting parameterized test and data driven test. Page object model integration, so you can use the POM design pattern for better test organization and maintainability. Cross browser supports, works with the Selenium WebDriver, allow tests to execute in multiple browser also. Test coverage and execution management, so it track test execution status including skip and fail tests and ensure full test coverage. So how we can set up the Serenity BDD? For that you need to install the Java JDK and then you need to install the Maven. Again, you can just verify the installation and set up the Maven project, same using this Eclipse, and then add that Serenity dependency, update your POM file, pom.xml file. You can see .NET net.serenity BDD Serenity core, and then the version of the dependency. Then next is for the Cucumber, you can use the Serenity Cucumber 6 and then version, and also you can use the Selenium Java and its version. So these are the some Maven settings you can and you need to add in your project. And then after, you need to add a Serenity plugin, include the Serenity Maven plugin for generating report. This is again you need to use for the reporting. So for that you can use Serenity BDD Maven plugin, and then Maven plugin version, and then faces test aggregate, and then it will create a report also. Next is writing a feature file. So feature file describe the behavior of the application in working syntax. You can use the same scenario and based on the same login dot feature, and then you can write the step definition based on your Java code. So same Java code you can use cucumber.java. It is actually using the Cucumber. Next is configuration of the test runner. So again you can create a test runner to execute the feature file. You can use the package runner, and then you can use that for the execution of the test case. Then running the test, how you can run. So for that you can run the test runner, execute the test runner from your IDE or using Maven, this command mbm clean where it, and then view the report. Serenity generate the detailed report at the target of the index.xml HTML, or you can change your name also. Next is integration with the Selenium. So automate browser interaction by using the Selenium. You can use the same code. It is written in the Java, which we have already explained in previous tool. Integration, so you can use the same code, and then again the data driven testing. For that you can just use the scenario outline and you can pass the example. Generating advanced reporting. So for that, scenario automatically generate the rich report with the screenshot and execute details. Simple, you can just run ambient clear clean variety, and then open the index.xml to view the report. CI/CD integration. So again you can run the run test case and pipeline and add the command Maven command to your CI/CD pipeline, and then publish report. Next is Pytest-BDD, that is using Python. So introduction to Pytest. Again the Pytest is a BDD plugin for Pytest, the popular Python testing framework. It provides a clean and a straightforward way to write BDD style tests using working syntax, allow team to describe application behavior in readable structure format with leveraging Pytest power feature for test execution and reporting. It is an extension of Pytest-BDD is an extension of Pytest that integrate BDD principle. It enables developer testers to write scenario in plain language in given when then format, which are mapped with the Python functions, and this approach bridge the gap between the business requirement and technical implementation, fostering collaboration among stakeholders. Okay, next is why use Pytest. So again, readable test scenarios you can write in the working language. Integration with the Pytest, you can use the Pytest and leverage the features like fixture plugin and parameterization. Reusability shares a step definition across multiple scenario to reduce readability. Extensibility, combine BDD with Pytest ecosystems and of plugin features, efficient test management, organize and execute tests efficiently using Pytest, robust test discovery and reporting. Then key features, again the syntax, fixture report, you can create and manage the test data. uh, Tagging, selective execution, add text to the scenario for the better organization and selective execution. Parameterize scenarios, detailed report, you can generate the rich and actionable report. Using reporting capability and setting up the Pytest. So how we can set up? So for that you need to install and download the Python. Then you can install and set up the virtual environment, create a virtual environment using v environment, activate the virtual environment Windows, and then for Mac you can use this code and then this command, and then install the required library for Pytest and Pytest-BDD. So for writing your test feature file, you can use the same feature login functionality and then use the login.feature, and same code you can write in the step definition using Python. So you can see import the Pytest, then Pytest BDD import scenario given when then, and then import WebDriver, and then you can write that code. Writing step definition. In the then part you can use the this assertion dashboard from the browser current URL. Next is running the test. So execute the test, run the test using Pytest command, and then view the report. Pytest will display a conscious and or detailed test summary based on option used. Add -v for the more detailed report. Next is data driven. So you can use using the parameterized, you can use the scenario outline and you can pass as a parameter. You can see a browser and username, password. So everything you can pass as a scenario outline and example. Next is generating reports. So for that you need to install the Pytest HTML plugin, install Pytest HTML, generate report, add HTML to Pytest command, and then view the report. Open report.html in your browser. Then parallel execution. For that you need to install the Pytest xdist, and then you can run the test in parallel. Add Pytest -n4. So these 4 test cases can be run in the parallel. CI/CD integration. For that run in the test case in pipeline. Add the command that Pytest -html report.html, publish report and upload report.html in the artifact. Advanced Python Pytest feature. So using fixtures for usability, define usable browser setup or test data in Pytest fixture. Skip test, use Pytest mark skip to skip a specific test, and then parameterize, you can use the parameter. So in this video we have seen 6 different BDD frameworks, starting with Cucumber, then SpecFlow, Behave, JBehave, Serenity BDD and Pytest-BDD. So I hope you like my video. Please like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.